Before the fallen ruled with terror, we watched our families stolen from us. It was their fathers, worse than the Nephilim. That was after they went astray. And with each passing year, their hatred for us grew. As their madness increased, the cries of men reached the heavens.
Do what you will! We will never meet again!
My life means nothing if you don't accomplish the charge of the Almighty, 𝐤𝐨, for we are one flesh. If you don't return from this, I'll rejoice with you in the heart of the earth.
We will find the power we need. It runs through every breath and creature. This earth is ours.
Welcome, everyone. This is Kingdom in Context, and I just want to welcome you to a special project announcement live stream. I want to thank everybody for being here in live chat, all the moderators. We're actually been working for several months in association with Green Pond Creative. That's our brother Drew Winter, and we've been working for several months on setting up and creating an animated series for the lifespan of Noah. So we're excited. Hopefully some of the teaser images you saw there will get you excited as well, because I don't know if anyone's ever done anything like this. We have a poll going in the live chat right now. Has anyone ever made an animated series of the life of Enoch and Noah? And if you know of one, that's awesome. I've just never seen one. I've never seen one before. So we're excited to announce this is what we've been working on. A lot of you may have noticed that some of my live streaming and my production schedule has changed a little bit in the last couple of months, both for my main channel as well as the Brave Believer channel. That's because we've been working hardcore on this, and we're excited about it. We're getting ready. Lord willing, we'll be able to our goal is to premiere our world premiere release of episode 1 at the end of our Kingdom Crew virtual conference. And so that's coming up this year, October 16th to the 22nd. We have a whole bunch of awesome speakers at this conference. And at the last night of this conference on the 22nd, we hope to premiere episode 1 of Days of Noah. So that's what we've been working on. And I just want to encourage everybody that we need your help. Because this is a massive project, and we can't do this by ourselves. And so we just felt like it's a massive project because the content that we'll be dealing with is not going to be watered down. It's not going to be it's going to be as biblically accurate as possible. I mean, as you know from our channel, we understand the various Christian communities throughout history and all the available resources of scriptural books that give us a wonderful and large breadth of information by which we can create this storyline. And the storyline is actually going to be starting 400 years before the flood of Noah, and then going into 300 years after the flood of Noah, leading up to the Tower of Babel. And so our project's goal is to create 8 seasons, and each season would have 16 episodes. And it's a big project. And this is actually, many of you guys have heard me in the past talk about, I personally had written a trilogy of novels about the 100 years leading up to the flood of Noah. And so this is taking a lot of that information and extrapolating it so that we can, obviously I'm having to rewrite things. And the reason I haven't published those novels is because I wrote them several years ago before I understood the Bible as intimately as I do today. And so I didn't properly represent biblical cosmology in my first draft of those novels, and I didn't properly represent the law of God as far as Noah literally being a priest of God. Same for Enoch and all those men who were righteously following Yahweh, and how there was opposition amongst the rebellious watchers and their sons, the Nephilim, and of course mankind, who was following in that deception as well. So we're excited that we get to portray this information, and Lord willing, we're going to get to portray it in a wonderful way. Okay, but the task is great for this type of thing. All right, so the average animation, like if you see a cartoon, especially people can get kind of a skewed parameter sometimes if they see a cartoon like on Netflix or Hulu and it's an animated cartoon. Those are studio produced. Those are massive, guys. They have huge budgets behind just the cartoons. Maybe you've seen like Marvel or DC comic cartoons, like a Batman, DC movie or something like that. That literally could cost $20-30 million for something like that. We're not going to be able to match that as far as that kind of production budget, but we do have some pretty cool things that we've found that we can do. And guys, I thank you so much. Someone dropped a super sticker. Thank you so much for the super sticker. Please refrain from any super stickers or super chats in this live stream. Okay, we're going to show you, if you want to support this project that we're talking about, we're going to show you where you can do that and the best way to do that. Okay, I tried to actually turn off super chats and super stickers for this live stream, but I couldn't figure out how to do it in the YouTube studio. I don't know if you can just individually turn it off per video, but yeah, guys, we're going to show you in a minute. We got an entire website. We're going to have both channels on Rumble and YouTube for this, as well as a Patreon, and we're going to have it's going to be great. Okay, so a lot of people are probably wondering, especially if you're familiar with the biblical narrative, you're probably wondering, now wait a minute, hang on, let me put this up here real quick. One second. Let's do this. All right. So you're probably wondering, like, you've read the stories, you understand the incredible corruption that happened before the flood, and so a lot of people would be like, "Hey, is this going to actually be a kid-friendly show?" Yes, it's going to have an E for everyone rating. That's our goal. We will obviously going to be talking about heavier topics because of what's happening, but we're going to definitely, I'm the one literally writing the storyline, so it's going to be, it's not going to be graphic, explicit. We understand it. We're trying to make it kid friendly as well as family friendly in general. I think the nature of the storyline and the component pieces at play will appeal to more than likely people up to 50 years old, because especially if you understand the Bible, probably maybe even beyond that, who knows, but our target demographic would be like 13 to 50. And because we know that this is a story that absolutely has to be told, especially in the time period that we're in the generation that we're in. We absolutely have to understand our enemy. We have to understand what we're dealing with, and the future generations is the target of those who are trying to corrupt the world. And then how can we get to them? How can we actually present a positive message of showing the righteous win, showing that people who do what's right and follow the Creator, they win the game. Okay, so this is what we need to communicate to the younger generations, so they are encouraged and inspired to stand up and be brave and follow the Creator's instructions. Do what's right. Resist the devil. You know what I'm saying? This is so important, and my feeling, my passion, that this is super important. We create a lot of content on Kingdom in Context, which is the channel you're watching this particular announcement on. We create a lot of content geared for Christians, both new to the faith and also mature Christians trying to do deeper study. Days of Noah is actually its own. I'll put this up on screen real quick. One second. Like I said, we got to have our own Days of Noah YouTube channel. And we'll be releasing content on this channel soon. Here we go. There we go. So do me a favor, go over to Days of Noah TV on YouTube and subscribe. This is what it looks like as far as the thumbnail, the icon, the banner picture. We've released the score, which is the musical soundtrack that we had professionally composed, and it's unique to us. So there's no copyright issues on any of the videos, but this is going to be what they call a motif, or a score that the entire series will use for the episodes, and that you can listen to that score and see some of the animation in the video that we've already uploaded. So go over there. If you also want to go subscribe to Rumble, we have Rumble as well. But real quick, just before we get into questions from the audience about the series in general, because I do want to take live questions from the audience about the series. Before we do that, let's show you another. This is about a 4-minute video where we've compiled some concepts and some behind the scenes footage of the production. So hopefully you can get a better feel for this project and the depth and scope of it. So I'll show that to you now. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. So let me put this on screen as well. This is where, if anyone's interested in this project, if you guys want to help us make this reality, it's a ongoing effort. It's become kind of a popular, not a popular, but it's become an up and coming concept for independent content to be crowdfunded. And that way they don't have to worry about outside interests. You don't have to worry about studios getting involved. You don't have to worry about investors getting involved and trying to take pieces and having controlling interests that want to water down the script or add any kind of agenda influence into the script. This is how we avoid all that, is we come together as a community and we make this a reality ourselves. Something like this is geared to grow beyond my particular algorithm here on Kingdom in Context. That's why we have its own YouTube channel, its own website. And I'm going to share the website with you right now. So you guys, when you have a moment on your phone or on your desktop, either one, you can go to daysofnoah.tv. daysofnoah.tv. This is our website, and this is where you can read a little bit about the series. You can see Drew hard at work. You can get some other featured thumbnails and emails, and also we can go to the donate concept, the page. Books and shop won't be ready yet until we start actually putting out the episodes, but you can go to donate, and you can see the current goal that we have for the season 1 and all 16 episodes. Okay. So this is our goal. It's 250,000 for season 1. And guys, this is on discount. Drew is amazing. We've got some other amazing artists that hopefully we'll be able to afford to bring on the project as well. But this whole concept is, Drew's artwork is amazing, and we have found some dedicated animators, a wonderful dedicated composer. We've already spoken with people that are voicing many of the characters. They're super excited about the project as well. And actually Drew's wife even voices one of the characters in season 1. So this is going to be really, really fun. And I really hope that you guys are ecstatic as we are, right? Just to see this idea come to life, that there is each season will continue to unfold the dynamic that's going on between the rebellious watchers who are ruling with their sons, the Nephilim, and Noah and his family, who is not only resisting, but figuring out ways to fight back. And of course, they're a family of priests, so they're educated on Yahweh's ways, on the Creator's ways. And just as the book of Enoch and other passages in scripture show to us that they understood what was right and wrong. This is why there was judgment that was coming and prophesied with the flood. And so we get to flesh that out in a story form, right? What does it look like when these rebellious angels are talking amongst themselves? In the storyline, they're called the assembly. So what does it look like when the assembly is talking amongst themselves about how they're going to further control humanity or further corrupt humanity, or why are they even doing this at all? How are they dealing with their punishment that they know they're going to be locked away in Tartarus? How are they dealing with the dynamic that they know, and we'll flesh this out through the series, they know that one of them, 𝐦𝐨, is not going to be locked away with the rest of them? How are they dealing with that internal conflict and strife? How is this coming across with, what are they telling their the chimeras, the giants, the Nephilim? What are they telling their brute force that enforces unrighteousness on the earth? What are they telling them to get them to continue to go along with the plan? Because these are sentient beings. These are beings with agency of free will. What's the family of Noah like? What temptations are they seeing all around them? How are they having to resist them? What imminent danger and threats are being imposed? So season 1 through 6 will be the 400 years leading up to the flood of Noah. And season 6 will be ending with the flood itself. And then season 7 and 8 will span the time period from the flood leading up to the Tower of Babel. So we're excited. We're very excited. It's a wonderful story that we get to tell and show people, especially the younger generations, that our history is super interesting and it's super relevant to the deceptions we're seeing in this world today. So I'm just happy that in a story form, I get to flesh that out. And we've found some wonderful gentlemen and ladies that are dedicated to this project to help this make a reality long term. So our goal is to put out, like I said, season 1. We want to put out 16 episodes, And our goal is to do them in blocks of 5, so that we would get 5 episodes from October 22nd, and Lord willing, we'll be able to put out an episode per week for 5 weeks, and then we'll take a break to make sure we finish production for the following 5 episodes, release those, and then Lord willing, finish off season 1 by May, and approximately May of the following year, which would be 2024. So that's our goal. And I just wanted to let you guys know what I've been working on, why things have been kind of shuffled around and adjusted. But I wanted to keep it a surprise, obviously, because, this is a huge thing. As well as, if you're interested, you can go to the specific. So maybe you do want to see something like this grow. You do want to see something like this successful, and you want to support us, and you go to the website. There's different options to support on the website. When you click the support button, it'll pop up different options that you can do, or you can customize your option. But if you want to be a monthly supporter, if that's easier for you, you just kind of want to set it and forget it, you can go to the Patreon. So this is our Patreon page for the site, and we're offering, like, for example, the tiers, which is a Patreon concept. Build the Ark, that's general support. If you want to do the 𝐥𝐤𝐤 level, that's, you're going to see behind the scenes content as we go. Like what some of that content that you just saw me going over in that second video was just a small amount of the behind the scenes content, right? So if you want to see more in-depth behind the scenes content, that's starting at the 𝐥𝐤𝐤 level. And also you get ad-free episodes. So when we actually upload them to YouTube, many of you may not be purchasing YouTube Red or whatever, and you don't want to see interrupted with episodes. Well, we'll be uploading them a day before onto the Patreon, so you can see them as well a day before, early, with no ad interruption. If you want to do the Noah level, you're going to get behind the scenes content, ad-free episodes, as well as the ebook will be available to download for free for you after season 1 is completed. So this is a digital publication. So each season is its own book in the series. And the Methuselah level is behind the scenes content, ad-free episodes. You get to download the ebook after each season's over, as well as you get early access. This is what I'm saying, 24 hours before it's put up on YouTube. So you can watch that early, as well as the Mahalalel level. You get all the same benefits, plus you can get enhanced episodes 60 days after their original air dates. All right. Now, many of you might understand the way writing goes, that when you're writing a book and you try to put it into a visual format like this, like an animated series, you may have like 6,000 words in a chapter for that book, but everything gets slimmed down. Everything gets greatly reduced in order to put it in a visual format. And because, all the descriptors in an actual written format, you're describing the world, the city they're in, walking from here to there, his emotions, his internal thoughts, everything involved with that. But you get to show that with facial expressions, with movements, with everything on screen. So a lot of the words are, you don't get a lot of that written format. That's why people, who love to read, they'll always say the book is better, right? Because they get to apply their own brain to all the extra descriptions. And so that's why each season is going to be its own book that we'll release. It'll be available on the website, as well as a digital version for free download through the Patreon. And so that's just some little extra things. We're going to come up with extra benefits on the Patreon as we get going, and we have more content produced and give out, as well as merch and different things like that. But right now, this is just the beginning. And hopefully, some of the images that you've seen, some of the ideas that you see us put together with these teasers and some of this behind the scene content, you can see where we're trying to go with this, and how vital of a project this might be in this current culture, in this current climate worldwide, because we're dealing with the deceptions of the Watchers and the Nephilim. The Watchers taught their sons the same deceptions. Obviously, they were the enforcers of those deceptions. That is still the same deceptions being perpetrated on the earth today. It's still the same. Looks like my camera is a little out of focus here. So those same deceptions must be addressed, right? They sometimes get repackaged for different generations or for different cultures, right? They put a different veneer on the deception for the different culture. But these understanding what these are is super important. Now, you can tell people all day long, like we do with many videos, many debates and videos. We tell people all day long, what these deceptions are. We've broken down our Investigating Babylon series. We're going over it in the 42 series. By the way, we're dropping another 42 series this month, as far as picking that back up and continuing with the 42 series will be this month. But I can list them out. I can show you the scriptures, but everyone learns differently. Some people learn in a visual format, and they learn through, through pictures, images. This is why animated stuff is so popular, right? And if any of you have children and you've seen the animation that's out there today in that genre, it's 100% demonic. 100% demonic, guys. It's all about, most of it originates from Japan and from the East, and a lot of American producers have picked up the idea of how popular it is. But if you have any experience watching any type of anime, and I used to watch anime when I was younger, right? It's all about demons. It's 100% demonic. So, I mean, sometimes they literally, the character's goal is to become a demon in the animes. So like, it's just, we have to create our cultural content that's Christian relevant, that's biblically sound and coherent, to get some eyes on it from this younger generation. And the storyline of the time period leading up to the flood and after is just, it's just so rich. It's so rich with just natural draws to the story for young eyes wanting to learn, to know about these super powerful beings creating these hybrid monsters, and mankind having to deal with those overwhelming odds. How did they deal with it? How did Noah stay alive all that time and not get killed and wiped out in a heartbeat? Angels can do whatever they want in this creation, almost. Like, they have the ability, their physical bodies, they are considered super human compared to a man, right? So how did the family of Noah, how did anyone that wanted to be righteous before the flood, how did they actually not just get squashed in a heartbeat? We're going to flesh it all out, guys. We're going to, and put it to a fun story form. We have an entire world that we're dealing with within the enclosed biblical cosmology. I'm super excited about some of the way that we're going to get to talk about the storyline, as far as introducing how different pockets of the assembly, the rebellious angels that ended up spreading into different pockets of the plane of the earth and where they lived. And I mean, we've even got, as you saw in the teaser there, we've even got one of the cities is going to be right next to the firmament. So there's going to be a ton of conversation about what's going on there and why they can't leave. So guys, hopefully you'll be as excited as I am to see some of this stuff put into a format that you could watch with the family, and you could all create incredible conversation out of this, and hopefully bring people to want to read the scriptures better. That's our heart. That's our goal, to fall into a lifestyle of repentance and walk with their Creator and His Son, Yeshua, our Messiah. That's our heart. That's our goal. All right. So here's what I would like to encourage everybody. Go check out daysofnoah.tv. That's our website. That's where you can read more about the project, and you can support us if you want with different donation options. If you'd like to support the project with a monthly concept, you can go to Patreon as well. And our, daysofnoah.tv on Patreon. The links are in the video description below. I think I put them in this video description below. One second. Oh no, it's just the I'm there on the other channel. All right, one second. Or they're also on the oh yeah, let me make those videos public, since we made the announcement now. I'll go to daysofnoah.tv on YouTube and make the actual videos public that you saw today, so you can watch them again. Just give me 1 second. And then I'll put this video description there. Okay. All right. So now in the video description of what you're watching, there's both the YouTube and the Rumble channels for Days of Noah, as well as our website, daysofnoah.tv, and our Patreon address if you want to go check out Days of Noah on Patreon and join for one of the tiers to support it that way on a monthly basis. So it's up to you. But this is we're super excited about this, guys. Here, 1 second here. Well, I finished dealing with some of these details. Put any questions you may have about this in the live chat. Okay. All right, guys. So here is putting this in the live chat as well. This is for 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞. And then I'll put the Patreon there as well. All right, so the Patreon's also in the live chat as well. It's also in the video description. It's also in the video descriptions of the 2 teaser videos you saw, which you can watch again on Days of Noah TV on YouTube and in Rumble. Okay, so that way you have, again, just go to daysofnoah.tv, and you can also be directed to the YouTube channel from there, and you can read more about it. But that is the preferred place that to support the series, and Patreon will be a secondary option. So if you have any questions, put them in all caps. Yeah, it's DAYSOFNOAH TV, Days of Noah with an S, Days of Noah TV. And we are very excited, very excited. Episode 1 is going to be dealing immediately with the battle outside of Nod. Do you guys remember where Cain went to Nod, the land of the east, the land of Nod? So there's a battle directly dealing with in episode 1 between various giants and men happening in the plains outside of the city of Nod. And as you saw in the teasers, some of the assembly members, Terrell, Samyaza, and Azazel, they descend in their loge in order to see the battlefield and oversee the things that are happening. They bring down the sound bow, which is this massive weapon of great destruction. What's the sound bow? Check out episode 1 in October to find out. What does the sound bow do? How does it work? Check out episode 1. It's going to be a lot of fun. And then and you see Jared is actually in that battle as well, and he's trying to get back to his family. And there's a lot of fun stuff happening just in episode 1 to introduce many of the characters involved. You get to see Noah as well. You get to see the whole family: Lamech, Methuselah, Jared, Mahalalel. A lot of people have been asking about, is Enoch? Enoch will be in this, but we can't give away everything in the teasers. So we'll let you know as further episodes unveil. You will get to the part where you see more about what's going on with Enoch. And so we're very excited, guys. Well Done's asking about a graphic novel companion. Yes, that's in the works in the future, right? Once we get the first season done and we can start, we've got all the artwork for the first season, then we can start compiling it in different digital publications and physical publication formats. All right. Bruce is asking, will the heroes wear 𝐦𝐸𝐳𝐬s? Not in a traditional way. Okay, so that's something that we're going to be presenting in a different concept over time, but it's not a big point of the heroes will be following the law of God, but it's not going to be. The 𝐦𝐸𝐳𝐸s may not look like the cultural tradition from Judaism and how they wear them, and so it's going to be interesting. Hopefully you'll think it's interesting how we present them. Others are asking about, Wilkins25 is asking, can you explain to the people why a series like this required creative license? Some people will get rabid and attack you for adding to scripture. Well, it's an animated show, so hopefully anyone watching knows that it's a creative license as far as you have to add conversation to go from one place to another. Like I said at the beginning of this, there's a wealth of scripture that does detail the events and concepts of this time, but it doesn't say every single word they said. It doesn't give you every piece of conversation and everything Noah and his family thought as they were building the ark or getting onto the ark or while they're on the ark. It doesn't, all the events leading up to that, you don't see all the conversation. So yeah, you have to include information for a fictional telling of a real historical event. So, it's like when you see movies that say based on historical events. This is based on a real historical event, but at the same time, you've got to add conversation to it so you can present the story. So this is where you do your best to understand the context of that story from the real historical event. You add in conversation to give it life, and to make it into an actual story that flows. The first episode is, like we said, we're premiering the first episode on October 16th at the very last night of our Kingdom Crew virtual conference. So October 22nd, which is the last night, that's when we're going to be premiering. That's our goal, to premiere episode 1 of Days of Noah. Yes, we're still continuing the 42 series, like we just said a few minutes ago. We're picking that back up this month. Like I said a few times throughout this, the reason why we've had a shuffle in some of our videos and schedules is because of this, right? We've been working on this massive concept, and doing all the groundwork, the fundamental groundwork, to get this to a presentable format for you to understand what we're even talking about. I could get on here and turn the camera on and say, hey guys, I've got a vision for this and this, and it'd be like this, and it'd do this. No, but nobody cares about that, right? They want to see something, right? They want to see, what's this world going to look like? How are you going to present this interaction between rebellious angels, literally forced to cohabitate on the earth amongst mankind after their judgment, amongst their sons the Nephilim, and then also mankind? How does that even, what does that world look like? And so we had to take some time to put this on in picture format, so you to understand. All right, turn the page. It's asking, what's the target runtime for each episode? Approximately 30 to 35 minutes. So that's our goal. I'm pretty confident that the finale of season 1, oh man, it's going to be so much fun. The season 1 finale is more than likely going to be closer to like 45 to 50 minutes, because it's just going to be a bigger episode. Everything's happening, and all the build up from the previous 15 episodes is coming to a climax, and it's just going to be a lot of fun. So Tracy Inches is asking, any deaf characters use sign language in the works? Not right now. No, not right now. Not that I've thought of. But there's something that we do want to offer in the future, and we're going to make this, make this offer later, as far as the announcement on the Days of Noah channel, as well as the Days of Noah Patreon. That in the story, we're going to have a contest. We haven't announced the contest yet because we want to get the first few episodes out first. But as the season 1 unfolds, and we may just do this every season, we want to do a contest for whomever's on the Patreon and pick one of our patrons to be an actual character in the story that I can create. And so I would have to interview that person. Whoever wins that contest, I would interview them. We'd talk to get to know a little bit of their mannerisms, their likeness, get to know them a little bit as a character, what they might want to see their character doing or involved somehow in the story. And so then we can put them in later episodes, or possibly even season 2 episodes, as an actual story character for winning that contest and supporting the series. So that's something we've already talked about with Drew. Bruce, will there be comedy like Marvel movies? I hopefully it won't be as bad as Marvel movies, but there will be comedy. It's not. Hopefully it won't be as cheesy as some anime movies like Dragon Ball Z, where they just look at each other and like, and their eyes are just quivering, and somehow I'm supposed to think that's funny. So hopefully, like, it'll be a little more clever comedy, both wet and dry humor. So yeah, I do have that planned. Ethereal Creations, yes. The story, the story is encompassing 400 years from before the flood to 300 years after the flood. So about a 700-year time span of the life of Noah. And so we'll get to see that whole transition. All right. Katya Vinci is asking, Sean, how about translation of Portuguese languages? Yes, that is down the road, but that is our goal. Not just Portuguese, but Spanish, French, Russian. There's quite a few languages that I would. It just depends on the success of the series. So yes, but that would be my goal, is to have enough to be able to pay for translation into multiple languages across the world, because we know people watch us from all over the world. So that is our goal. Good question. All right, somebody's asking about my birthday. King Chris asked my birthday. My birthday is February 8th. So, yeah, you guys, I don't see any other questions right here. Maybe I missed one. Oh, Dolly. Yeah. I'm unfortunately, we're going to have to just remove you. This has been a few years now, but unfortunately we're going to have to remove you from the trolling comments. It's not productive, sister or brother. All right. So I don't see any more comments for now, but guys, you're welcome to go to Days of Noah TV. It's the YouTube channel. Where'd it go? And you can subscribe there. Looks like we got 62 subscribers. There's probably more people. There's 162 people watching. Like, let's get up to 162. There's probably more than that watching, but there's at least 162 in the live chat. So let's get as many people as possible to actually subscribe to this channel. And you can also subscribe to us on Rumble, where both of those videos that we put up that you watched today are also a part of this. And you can see that on Rumble as well, on our Rumble channel. So go subscribe. All right, great question. Hang on a second. We got a few more good questions. Oh, Alan's asking, where's all my energy come from? Hey, man, I just, I don't know. So, guys, a lot of you may not like, because I said, I've had this story for years. I mean, I've been researching this particular story since 2007. I had this weird night in 2007. I couldn't sleep. I was up all night, and like a madman, like frantically writing in a book all these ideas for the story. And then I at the time, or maybe it was 2000. Oh yeah, it was actually 2004. Yes, it was 2004. Because I was still working at a restaurant at that time. I was just going through my apprenticeship to go into my financial planning career, which was only about 6 years. But before I made that transition, I was working at a restaurant, and so I was up all night, and I had to work the next day. I had to work a double the next day, and I remember going to the restaurant, and one of my coworkers, Rob, he was like, "Bro, you look really tired. What's going on?" And I said, "Man, I was up all night. I had this crazy. I just felt like, I feel like someone opened my brain, was just downloading information. I had this I kept seeing this movie in my head, about the pre-flood world and the angels and Noah and everybody trying to interact and the strife and the wars and everything involved. And I had never read the book of Enoch at that point, nor the book of Jubilees, just from Genesis, just from, me reading Genesis, I guess. I don't know. The point is, I started telling him some of the details of it, and he was like, "Oh man, that's amazing. You're describing some stuff that archaeologists have theorized." Now the next day he brought me a bunch of books that they're from secular archaeologists, and they have more like that, they don't think of the biblical narrative, right? But they were pontificating in their archaeological conclusions about the pre-flood world, and some of these books he brought me. And so so that basically just gave me this weird sense of like, maybe I should take the story seriously. And I already loved to write since I was younger. And then I started actually trying to write some of the story that year, and then a lot more in the following years. And then by 2011, 2012, I was finishing up the 3 novels. And as I was watching the incredibly horrible story, the movie Noah that came out in 2012 by Darren Aronofsky, and I was just like, "Oh, he's butchering this story. Like, this is horrible. How in the world did Hollywood sign off on this? And they're going to lose money." And they did lose money. It was a horrible, horrible retelling of the events. And he was pulling a lot of stuff from Kabbalistic thought process, and it just ignoring blatant parts of the scripture, rewriting stuff. And just like, I was like, man, why would they do that? I was still naive back then. It's 2012. I didn't realize that the powers that be in this world intentionally want to malign the truth of scripture. They don't want to actually tell this story properly. If you tell this story properly, it gives away their game now. So what happens if we just told this story properly? We don't have to embellish it. All the thematic concepts, all the players, all the characters, all the events are already extremely interesting. Someone just needs to tell it as the Bible tells it, and let that seed get watered by the Father as he chooses through his Son, the high priest, and just see what would happen. And that's what we want to do. That's our goal. So I've been working on this for a long time, guys. This is not something that I thought in 2012 when I finished this, I thought I started submitting, the novels to publishers and agents, and I got 2 responses, and they were horrible because I didn't have a platform. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're an author trying to present a book to an agent or a publishing house, they don't take you seriously if no one's actually going to buy your work, right? If you're just a nobody or a no-name author, a brand new author, and no one's following your work, they've never bought any of your books previously, they can't throw $200,000 down for, getting your book finalized, edited, typeset, copyright, everything involved, mass publishment, marketing campaigns in different regions, everything involved with the publishing of a new book, unless they can financially see that they were going to make their money back in some regard, because you actually have a following. So I didn't have a following back then, and I had no clue, I had no clue. So, one second, guys. All right, sorry about that. That was Don. I guess he didn't see I was streaming. So ultimately, guys, I just want to encourage you guys. It's a brutal world out there trying to get this message through all the gatekeepers in the publishing industry. So I felt kind of deflated 2014, 2015, and thought, no one's ever going to take this seriously. No one's ever going to pick up my book and run with it, because, for one, the publishers themselves read it, and if they don't have a biblical background, are they going to like it? So, and then if they do have a biblical background, which denomination do they come from? Do they come from one of those denominations that teaches that angels actually didn't take wives, and that, these were just the sons of Seth theory? Like, you see all the division, all the problems with this particular story. So lo and behold, I did not expect the Father to grow us on our own channel with our own audience, as he has. And I haven't even been talking about this particular story or my own personal project for the last 5 years. I mean, I've mentioned it in passing, but this is the first time I'm ever making a video about this with an actual project, because what have we been doing for the last 5 years? We've been teaching the gospel of the kingdom. We've been teaching Torah, teaching the concept of the idea of covenants. We've been teaching the foundations of the faith, right? Because this is the most important thing. We have over 800 videos put out, helping people understand the foundations of their faith. Seeing me exegete it, defend it, argue it, debate it in real time. But this is a passion project. As far as, this is something I've wanted to bring to the forefront for a long time. And it's so funny, because I remember thinking, like, in 2011, I was praying. I was like, Father, I'm really scared, because Hollywood's about to put out this movie about Noah, and I've got this story that I know I'm trying to accurately tell the truth about the story from the scriptures. And I just remember hearing him say, it's going to be at least 10 years. And I just I felt so deflated, but here it is, over 10 years later, and he's done amazing things. And we actually have people that might want to watch something like this on screen, an animated series. So we're really excited. Mr. Bass is asking, are you going to provide maps pre-flood? Yeah. I mean, we'll do our best. Obviously, we don't know what it looked like. There's no ancient maps, so we're going to do our best with the artistic understanding to present throughout the storyline. So, like with Lord of the Rings, you watch them go over different places in the map and different parts of the series. Similarly, we're going to have different cities spread out across the planet of the Earth. Season 1 is going to deal specifically with the 4 main cities. You've got Apsu, Marduk, Marpe, and Hakoma. And those are the 4 main cities that you have some of the leaders of the assembly in their different pockets that they live, and the different what they're doing in collaboration with each other to deceive and control mankind. And so that'll be presented on the map for a variety of reasons, as well as the garden. The garden's going to be there too, so that's going to be fun. Yeah, Julius asking about Young Don. I mean, I literally just spoke to him on the phone. As you saw, we've been talking about this. I showed him this about a couple weeks ago. He's excited about it. He thinks he's really impressed with Drew's artwork. He thinks this is going to be great. Eternal Light, will I publish it on mainstream platforms besides YouTube and Rumble? I don't know exactly what you mean by mainstream. I mean, I'm not trying to go like get a contract with CBS or anything like that. But I do know that if the show becomes successful and it becomes popular, then I would enter contract negotiations so that, because I mean, at that point, I don't have to worry about them trying to change anything, because I've already, like, they would be rerunning in syndication what we've already produced. So they're not going to be able to change anything. And if they ever try, well, I'll just pull it, I'll just pull the syndication contract. So that would be a part of the contract I sign, is to make sure that we retain full autonomous control over our content, over our copyrighted licensed content, and they just get to syndicate it. But we're also, one of our goals is to create an actual app that we can put on Amazon Fire Stick and Roku, so that you can watch this on those platforms as well. Bruce is asking about Atlantis. Is Atlantis in the story? We will keep that one as a surprise for the future. Someone wants to be a Scottish character. You guys have to remember, I appreciate that, but and this is actually what I had to share with one of the voice animators, one of the voice professionals, voicing some of the characters, is that hey, according to the scriptures, everyone spoke one language before the flood. So I don't know if they had different dialects or different understandings, but they did have one language amongst mankind. They spoke one language. So I don't know if they had any kind of Scottish accents back then. It's hard to say. Yeah, Matt, the links are in the video description below, brother. So if you want the link to the YouTube or the Rumble channels, the website, 𝐦𝐨r𝐞 or our Patreon, those links are in the video description below in this video that you're watching. Check them out. Ivan's asking, is Methuselah based on Westblade? No, I don't think Drew created Methuselah on Westblaze. I could see why he would ask that, though. Awesome, Doug. Yeah, we're glad. Hopefully this is an encouragement to you. All right, Skid Whistler's asking, how would artists or animators interested in helping contact the project? You're welcome to contact me at daysofnoahtv@gmail. If you're an artist or animator, daysofnoahtv@gmail.com. But right now, I've already reached out to the 3 main animators that I would like to have involved, as far as the lead animators, and Drew is he's the director of all art and animation and illustration. So ultimately, we would have to see, because this is not a pro bono project. This is a paid project. So we want to make sure that it's in the budget to hire, a whole bunch of animators. But again, that's with the success of the show. If this first season is successful, if we get our go to daysofnoah.tv if you want to support the series and help complete our goals for the first season. If that's successful, then we'll have plenty of budget to have extra animators. But daysofnoah.tv@gmail.com is the easiest way to reach out to us for that. Cameron, no. People have asked us in the past about the KSC app. Guys, the KSC app is a link app, right? It's a very simplistic app. It doesn't have a video player in there. There's no streaming option in there. That's all very expensive stuff. To have a video player is a totally different concept. To be able to upload your own video to a server or network, to be able to have hosting options for live streaming or for live presenting on a on your own website. And I know because I'm literally a part of the Lighthouse Project and been consulting with them. And I've been in the meetings for the budget and all the back end companies that work together to make it a reality for social media, for video players on social media, like you're watching on YouTube. I know what it costs. It's extremely expensive. The KIC app is just a link app. I just get to post links to either Rumble or YouTube. I get to post, text with pictures for articles or for announcements. But I'm not in a position to actually be able to afford a situation where I could live stream or have my own independent concept like that. Bruce asking, will I voice a character? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not sure I've got the voice for it, but maybe there'll be a little side character in the future. Maybe I'll voice one of the giants or one of the 200 angels. Maybe I'll voice one of the sons of Noah after the flood or something, but I really haven't even thought about it, honestly. Okay. All right, guys. So I'm gonna we are going to, let's see if we've got more subscribers on the YouTube channel. We got 82. If you're watching right now, go to Days of Noah TV. You can see it. Let's see if we can't bump that up to 200 before the day's over. Get that YouTube channel bumped up there. Here it is. You can see it. We're at 82 subscribers right now. Days of Noah TV. You guys are welcome to go subscribe to that channel, or you can go follow it on Rumble as well. But yeah, we'll help with this growing, and we'll be putting out more content as well, different types of content on Days of Noah, specifically pertaining to this series, in anticipation of the premiere of the first episode in a few months. So, all right, I'll just take a couple more questions, and I'll cut it off for today. Thanks, Mountain Mama. I appreciate that. King Chris, I don't know, bro. I haven't really studied the contemporary English version that well, or the New American Revised Edition. There's so many new editions that come out so often. I haven't studied them all, so I apologize. I don't have any kind of review on those. What would it look like for the family of Noah to be observing the feasts before the flood? How will the rebellious angels who know what the feasts in heaven are, since literally it says that these instructions are written on the heavenly tablets. That's the scriptures that they have in heaven. The instructions for good behavior that they also have in heaven. The angels abide by because they were taught the same instructions from the Almighty as we were. What would it look like when those rebellious angels who are used to observing those feasts and come to the earth? They still observe them? Do they make different ones? Do they make their own? What's that going to look like? We get to explore so many fun things just in the first season. But I'm super excited about getting to the following seasons as well, as the story unfolds with more and more characters, more and more places. You get to see the Titans in later seasons. You get to see, it's gonna be a lot of fun. There's so much to this story, guys. Blessed One's asking, will there be dinos? Great question. Remember I said earlier that there's going to be chimeras? So we'll get to see all kinds of fun things. It's going to be fun. I can't give away all the spoilers. Yet. Kremslek, I'm not sure what you mean, brother. You're talking to me right here, right now. But I'm not sure if you're talking about, sometimes on our Kingdom in Context Patreon, we do a Zoom where people can call in live and speak with me in a private Zoom, and we don't record those and put those online. but those are just behind the scenes that we do for people that want to attend those. But I haven't done one of those in a couple months because I've been so busy. But not on the Days of Noah TV, because this is going to be a animated series in production, so it's a little different. Evan Freshwater, thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. This house belongs to Yahweh the Most High is asking, will West Blaze be working on this with you? Characters and music. Yeah, he's going to actually be working on, he's going to be voicing one of the characters. It's going to be great. And also Marlo Eugene is going to be creating some of the, some tracks, some beats and some different type of music for the series as well. So in addition to having, as you heard in the videos that you watched, both, you know, the opening teaser and the behind the scenes video, that's the full score, the motif as far as a cinematic score and orchestral score. But then Marlo Eugene is going to be providing some more modern music, if you will, as far as different types of beats and different things we can use in the background of certain scenes and transitions and, you know, things like that, the credits of each episode and stuff like that. So Vader Bear is asking if you could consider putting out weekly chapters of the comic followed by episodes. No, definitely not in the first season, while we're still finding our groove, figuring out exactly all the production needs, and not the first episode. Once we have all the material and all the artwork done after the first year, after the first season, we might consider putting out a comic, like I said, both a graphic novel, a comic book version, as well as other types of publications for that, but not the first year for sure, because we're still finding our groove. King Chris, you can read them all together, brother. They encompass, a lot of them encompass the same time period, right? As far as the days from the creation leading up to Noah's birth. So you can read them all together, just cross-reference and compare. Just think of it being blessed with all this extra information about that time period in history. Okay, Blessed One. I was about to get to this. Thanks for asking. So many of you guys have wondered in the past, I mentioned something called Wisdom Guard. And this was something we were creating. This was last October. We talked about, we started working with developers to create a digital game for using biblical characters, fighting off giants. And it's a trivia game. So it's like a live role playing, where that before you make your move to fight the giant, you've got to answer a trivia question. It depends on what's going to happen. So it was called Wisdom Guard. And I showed some stills from some of the initial preliminary images and game design. And we put that on hold because of this, because of Days of Noah, because I realized I wanted the characters to be synonymous with Days of Noah. So my goal is in 2024 to bring out Wisdom Guard, which will be both a game you can download from the App Store, a very, fun little game you can download, as well as a board game you can play with your family, where it's like a trivia game on scriptures and questions about the Bible in a fun format. But I wanted to use consistently the characters from Days of Noah as this grander idea was forming, and as opposed to different drawings of characters separately. So I wanted to combine the world, if you will, of the Wisdom Guard game with the Days of Noah series. So that's what happened with that, in case anyone was wondering what's going on there. Chase, I appreciate the super chat, guys. He said, have you thought about mixing in some stuff from Skiba's Sea Project, just continue our brother's legacy? With all respect to Skiba, this is a totally different story. So no, honestly, no. I mean, no one's seen his full story, so I don't even know what I would mix in. We've only saw the teaser. He didn't send me his, behind the screens. He never sent me like his full story manuscript or anything. So from what I understood from his teaser and from his introduction about it, it would be a totally different story than the one I'm writing. So I think his is more in the modern day. Mine's all ancient world. So. All right. Miss Mars is asking, what's the best way to support rather than Patreon? daysofnoah.tv. We've set up this site. I'll put this on screen again. We've set up this site specifically so that you can even avoid the high interest or the high fees that Patreon may take. It's daysofnoah.tv is our actual website for this series. So I'll put this on screen for you to take a look at. daysofnoah.tv. This is our website. Go to it. You can go and go to the homepage, and you can check out the site. We'll be putting different videos up here. That these are just from our YouTube channel, but we'll link them here that you can actually click on them from the site. You can see and read more, see other still images about the site, or you can try to actually. This site will obviously grow as the series grows, right? This is just the beginning phase, but this all shows you where you can donate. You click support. You have different options that will pop up, how you want to support. Unless none of these work for you, you can do a customized option. And so if you want to be a significant contributor to this project, because sometimes in the past we've had people ask us, hey, do you want me to send you a check in the mail or whatnot? This is the best way to do it. This is all set up through the company, KIC Media LLC. And so this is the best way to do it. You can put in a custom amount, and you can put in, whatever God puts on your heart, 10,000, 20,000, who knows, just depends. It's funny. I went to the Chosen website to see how they were doing some of their crowdfunding, and they've got options for people to donate like $100,000 a month. But they're doing a massive production that probably costs them like $1 million an episode or more for them to make the Chosen. So we're not there yet, but this is why animation is a little more affordable to get started. But that would be the dream, is down the road, Lord willing, we'd be able to make a live action version of this story with a big budget and everything. But small steps, humble beginnings, and the animated still is a huge ministry effort. It's a huge, huge opportunity to sow seed into the youth. And this is our heart. We know the next generation matters. So daysofnoah.tv, the website, is the best place. Secondary place would be Patreon. Okay, guys. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Hopefully I answered all your questions. Hopefully you're excited as we are. And as I go, we'll leave you with another quick look at Days of Noah, the series premiere.
All the fallen ruled with terror. We watched our families stolen from us. It was their fathers, worse than the Nephilim. That was after they went astray. And with each passing year, their hatred for us grew. As their madness increased, the cries of men reached the heavens.
Do what you will! We will never meet again!
My life means nothing if you don't accomplish the charge of the almighty 𝐤𝐤, for we are one flesh. If you don't return from this, I'll rejoice with you in the heart of the earth.
All the fallen ruled with terror. We watched our families stolen from us. It was their fathers, worse than the Nephilim. That was after they went astray. And with each passing year, their hatred for us grew. As their madness increased, the cries of men reached the heavens.
Do what you will! We will never meet again!
My life means nothing if you don't accomplish the charge of the almighty 𝐤𝐤, for we are one flesh. If you don't return from this, I'll rejoice with you in the heart of the earth.
We will find the power we need. It runs through every breath and creature. This earth is ours.